Ever get that feeling? Like those online ads, they're reading your mind.
Oh, Kaluto.
That sudden urge to buy those shoes you were just looking at.
Yeah, yeah.
That's William Ammerman's invisible brand at work, right? And that's what we're diving deep into today.
Absolutely.
Forget flashy campaigns. This is like next level marketing. It's about AI subtly shaping what you buy, even what you think you want.
It's true, and Ammerman's book really digs into this whole shift. Like, remember the old days? Everyone
Yeah.
seeing the same billboard, same TV commercial.
Right, right.
He connects that to what we have now. This system where companies, they tailor messages just for you,
Yeah.
all based on the data they're gathering.
Yeah, it's kind of creepy when you think about it. Like that story, that crazy story about Target
Oh, yeah.
predicting that teenager's pregnancy
I know, right? Just from her shopping habit.
before her family even knew.
It's true.
It's actually mentioned in the book. It's like a cautionary tale, right?
Oh, absolutely. It showed just how powerful, like, data analysis could be, but also how wrong it could go.
Yeah.
Target was basically playing Sherlock Holmes, but with shopping lists,
Right.
Imagine, coupons for diapers
Oh, God.
before you've even told anyone you're expecting.
That's awful.
Talk about awkward.
Oh, no kidding. So how do they use that information without, freaking people out?
Right.
And that's where this whole invisible brand comes in, right?
Exactly. Subtlety. Subtlety is key.
Subtlety, exactly. The aim isn't always to hit you over the head with an ad.
Right.
It's more like to guide you toward a purchase subtly, maybe even subconsciously.
And this isn't just happening with, online shopping carts or whatever. Emmerman, he talks about his own experience.
Yeah.
Questioning if Google Maps was sending him on a longer route
Oh, wow.
on purpose. One with more tolls.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That, what does he call it? That,
Gobaloya?
Paranoia, yes. It highlights how we're starting to distrust the motivations behind, like, these AI systems.
All right. Yeah.
Are they really working in our best interest or someone else's? Exactly. It's like we're handing over control, but we're not really sure who's driving anymore.
It's true.
Okay, so this invisible hand of marketing, it's everywhere online.
Mm-hmm.
But how does it actually work? Is it just, you looked at a lamp, now you get lamp ads forever?
Well, it's funny you should say that, but no, it's way more complex than that.
Okay.
Ammerman explains how companies use this system. It's called programmatic advertising, and it's basically an auction.
An auction?
An auction for your attention.
What?
It's happening constantly, behind the scenes, every time you click on something.
So companies are bidding on me like I'm some prize cow at a state fair. What makes me so valuable?
Data. It's your data.
Okay.
Imagine a bidding war, but it's happening super fast.
Wow.
Advertisers are using algorithms to decide in milliseconds if you're the right person to see their ad.
Milliseconds.
They consider your past browsing, what you click on, even how long you stay on a page,
Wow.
all to decide, are you worth their ad dollars?
So it's not just about what I'm interested in, but how likely I am to actually buy something.
Exactly.
I'm starting to feel like a walking, talking, target demographic.
And it gets even sneakier.
Oh, no.
Emmerman talks about this thing called native advertising. Basically ads, but they're disguised as articles, news stories.
Oh, sneaky.
It's designed to blend right into your newsfeed so you don't even realize you're being advertised to.
It's like that old saying, if you're not paying for the product, you are the product.
Exactly.
Except in this case, even if I am paying, I'm still the product. So they've got our data, our attention.
Mm-hmm.
But how do they actually make us click that buy button?
That's where the psychology comes in.
Okay.
Ammerman, he really digs into that. It's not random.
Okay.
Marketers are using these proven psychological tactics to trigger our decision-making. You know those limited time offers or only a few left in stock messages?
Oh, yeah.
You see those online?
Yeah, those get me every time.
Right.
Suddenly I need it, Even if 5 minutes ago, I didn't even know it existed.
That's the scarcity principle at work.
Scarcity.
They're hardwired to want things that are scarce.
Okay.
Ammerman also talks about reciprocity. Remember those free samples they used to give out at, grocery stores?
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't love a freebie?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But there's always that feeling like you should buy something afterwards, like you almost owe them.
I do, yeah. I feel guilty.
Exactly. That sense of obligation, even if it's subconscious, that's reciprocity in action.
Wow.
And it's not limited to just free samples either.
Yeah.
Think about free trials online, exclusive content.
Right.
It's all designed to make you feel indebted, more likely to buy later.
It's like they've hacked our brains. Speaking of which, social media. Ammerman, he does not hold back.
No, he doesn't.
He calls it a master class in manipulating our brain chemistry.
That's a good way to put it.
That's intense.
Yeah. Ammerman even quotes Sean Parker,
Uh,
one of Facebook's early leaders, right?
right.
And he straight up admitted that the platform was designed to exploit our brain's reward system.
Wow.
It's those dopamine hits we get. Every time we get a like or a notification, that keeps us coming back.
So those endless hours I spend scrolling,
I know, right?
not totally my fault. My brain's being hijacked.
Well, let's just say social media platforms are good at what they do.
Yeah.
They use AI to personalize your feed, show you content they know will keep you engaged.
Right.
It's all about maximizing the time you spend there because more time scrolling,
More ads.
more ads.
It's like a digital casino with those flashing lights.
Right.
Addictive games designed to keep us hooked. And it's not just social media. Emmerman also talks about how these tactics are used in video games, too.
All the time.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Think about those role-playing games, Endless quests, badges, levels, leaderboards.
Mm-hmm.
It's all tapping into our basic psychology. Achievement, status, competition.
Right.
Ammerman himself, he admits to getting sucked into World of Warcraft.
Oh, wow.
Hours on end.
It's amazing how these games can create these whole worlds that feel so real.
Totally.
So engaging. And then within those worlds, there's a whole economy
It's true.
with in-game purchases, virtual items, and people are willing to spend real money.
I know it. And those game designers, they're not just making it up as they go.
Right.
They're using those same psychological principles
Oh,
to make their games as addictive as possible.
that's like they figured out how to create the perfect, dopamine loop.
Exactly.
You get a reward, you feel good, you want more, you keep playing, you keep spending.
It's a cycle.
And it's not limited to just gaming either.
Yeah.
Ammerman connects this back to the idea of influencers in online communities.
Oh, right.
Those people who can make or break a trend
With a single post.
just like that. It's like a real-world version of those MMORPGs. A small group of players, they can have a huge influence. So it's like these same dynamics, they're playing out in the real world too, shaping everything, fashion, politics.
Everything.
It's like that old saying, the medium is the message.
Yes.
But in the age of AI, the medium itself is getting really good at manipulating that message.
And us right along with it.
Us along with it. Okay, so we're back, and we've established this invisible brand. It's not just about cleverly disguised ads.
Right.
It's a whole system
Yeah.
working behind the scenes to influence our choices.
It really is. And a key part of that system, as we were just saying, is how easily it taps into our psychology.
Yeah.
But it's not just our love of free samples or how we're susceptible to those limited time offers.
Yeah.
Ammerman also explores how this system is getting even more, sophisticated.
Okay.
Learning to predict what we want, before we know it.
Okay, now that does sound a little creepy. Are they reading our minds? How is that even possible?
It all comes down to data. The amount of data these companies are collecting. And then the power of the AI, right? To analyze it all.
Okay.
Remember those ads?
Yeah.
The ones for shoes that seem to follow you around, after you've browsed for a new pair?
Yeah, it's like they're haunting my every click. I mean, how...
That's retargeting.
Okay.
And that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Ammerman explains how this technology is going way beyond simply showing your products you've already viewed,
Okay.
AI can now analyze your past behavior, your browsing history, what you buy, how you buy, even your social media activity,
Wow.
to predict what you're likely to want in the future.
So they're basically building a digital profile of me, like a consumer clone or something.
Yeah, basically.
To anticipate my every need, desire, and then, of course, target me with ads.
Of course. And the more data these companies collect, the more accurate their predictions become.
So, a company like Amazon.
Exactly.
They have so much information about us.
Right. I know, right? It's kind of scary.
It's not just what we buy.
Right.
But when we buy it, how often, even what we almost bought.
Yes.
But then didn't. It's like they're piecing together a puzzle of our consumer psyche.
It's true.
But all this data collection, it does raise concerns about privacy.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Ammerman addresses those concerns in the book.
Okay, good.
He really stresses that while this technology has, potential for good, imagine AI that can predict illnesses
Right.
based on our health data.
Yeah.
That could be amazing,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Preventative stuff.
Yeah. No, that'd be great.
But there's also huge potential for misuse.
It's like that old saying, with great power comes great responsibility. what can we even do about it? Are we just supposed to, like, surrender our data to the algorithm and just hope for the best?
Well, Ammerman's point is we can't just be passive,
Okay.
just consumers of this technology.
Right.
We need to be informed. We need to be aware. But most importantly, we need to demand more transparency,
Okay.
more accountability from these companies.
So it's not just about being creeped out by targeted ads.
Right.
It's about taking control
Yes.
of our digital lives,
Exactly.
demanding that our privacy be respected.
100%. And this goes way beyond our shopping habits,
Okay.
our browsing history. Ammerman even talks about how AI is changing the news,
Really?
how it's being filtered, how it's even being created.
Wait, AI is rating news stories now. I thought that was still, journalists' job.
Well, human journalists, they're not going extinct just yet.
Okay, good.
But AI is playing a bigger and bigger role.
Interesting.
It can automate certain tasks,
Hmm.
transcribing interviews, data-driven reports.
Okay, so it's like a tool for journalists to use, like a super-powered research assistant.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes more sense. But, are there any downsides to that?
Well, there's always a flip side. Ammerman points out, since these AI systems are trained on huge data sets,
Yeah.
they can reflect, even amplify the biases that are already in those data sets.
Wow.
So if a news organization isn't careful, the data they're using to train their AI could end up perpetuating harmful stereotypes or even spreading misinformation.
It's like that old computer science adage, garbage in, garbage out.
Exactly.
So even if AI isn't trying to mislead us, it could still do it accidentally.
Exactly. And this is where, human oversight is so crucial.
Okay.
Critical thinking.
Right.
We can't just blindly accept information, even if it's presented to us by, some seemingly objective AI.
So we really need to be, questioning everything, cross-referencing. It's like we have to be our own fact-checkers now.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
We've got to step up our media literacy game, that's for sure.
So it seems like a lot of responsibilities on us, the users, to be extra vigilant, in the age of AI. But shouldn't there be, some kind of regulation or some ethical guidelines to make sure this technology is being used responsibly?
100%.
Yeah.
Ammerman, he argues for thoughtful regulation and ethical frameworks to guide the development of AI, clear boundaries around data privacy, how to deal with algorithmic bias, and what to do about the potential for AI to be used for, bad stuff.
Right. So it's not just about individual responsibility. It's about creating a system where this powerful technology is used for good, right?
Yeah.
Not for bad.
Exactly, because the potential is enormous.
Yeah.
Ammerman, he talks about AI revolutionizing healthcare, tackling climate change.
Wow.
But he says to realize those benefits,
Yeah.
we got to be proactive, not just reactive.
Okay.
We have to shape the future of AI, not just let it shape us.
That's a really powerful message. It's not about fearing AI or trying to stop it.
Right.
It's about steering it in the right direction, right? Making sure it serves humanity, not the other way around.
Exactly.
And it seems like a big part of that is understanding how it all works.
Mm-hmm.
So can we dig a little deeper into the technical stuff? How is AI actually learning? How is it adapting? Because it seems so mysterious.
It does seem like magic, doesn't it? But Ammerman does a good job of breaking it down.
Okay, good.
He talks about machine learning. It's basically how AI is trained.
Yeah.
To recognize patterns, make predictions, all based on data.
Okay. So instead of being programmed with all the answers, it's like AI is learning on its own by analyzing information.
Exactly.
But where does all this data come from?
It's everywhere. Seriously, every time you click a link, buy something, post on social media,
Wow.
even just walking down the street with your phone.
Yeah.
Data.
Wow. It's an invisible web of information surrounding us.
It really is. And the more data these AI systems have access to, the better they get.
So is this where we get into science fiction territory with AI becoming so smart it surpasses human capabilities?
Yeah. That's the big question, isn't it? Ammerman talks about artificial general intelligence, or AGI. It's AI that's as smart as humans, maybe even smarter.
Okay. Are we talking about robots taking over the world? Should we be worried? Because I've seen that movie.
Ammerman says that idea of super intelligent AI, it's both exciting and a little scary.
Yeah.
But he also says we're still a long way off from AI that can really think like a human.
Okay. So not time to panic just yet.
Not yet. But it is time to start thinking seriously about the implications and about ethical guidelines, safety protocols to make sure AI remains under our control.
It comes back to that idea, AI isn't inherently good or bad.
Right.
It's how we choose to use it.
Exactly.
And those choices, we're making them right now.
We are. Every single day.
Okay. So we've talked about AI's influence on our shopping, the news we consume, even our jobs. But what about our personal lives? Does Ammerman talk about that?
He does. And one of the most interesting parts of the book, I think, is where he explores AI and relationships. Finding love.
Okay.
Even intimacy.
Wow. That's going to be pretty personal. So we're talking about robot companions, like in the movies?
Not necessarily robots.
Yeah.
But like AI companions. Virtual beings, that we can actually interact with.
On an emotional level.
Yes. They can provide companionship, support, even romantic connection.
Wow. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. It's fascinating, but also kind of strange.
Right.
To think about, like, forming a bond with AI.
Ammerman talks about the ethical issues, too.
Okay.
Questions about consent, deception, the potential for these AI companions to be used to exploit people.
Right. Because, again, it comes back to it's not the technology itself.
It's us.
It's us. We have to be mindful of the potential consequences, right?
Yes.
And establish some boundaries.
Absolutely. We have to make sure this technology is being used responsibly.
Okay. Responsibility. It's like the key word of the day when it comes to AI, it seems like.
It really is. Because the potential is huge. But we have to be careful.
Okay, so welcome back to the deep dive. We're wrapping up our exploration of the invisible brand. And I gotta say, it feels like we've uncovered like this whole hidden world operating just below the surface of like everything we do.
It's not just ads either.
No, it's not just that. It's how this technology, this AI, it's starting to like touch everything, what it means to be human.
Totally. Our relationships, our health, like even our sense of right and wrong.
Yeah, and Ammerman, he really doesn't hold back.
He does.
He's asking us to think about some big questions.
Big ones.
Especially at the end of the book when he's really pushing us to think about the ethical stuff, the dilemmas, the AI forces us to confront.
And he doesn't present it like, oh, this is inevitable, like we're powerless. He's saying the future of AI, we're writing it right now with every choice we make about how we develop it, how we regulate it, how we let it into our lives.
So let's talk about some of those choices, because the ethical stakes, they're getting pretty high, right?
They are. One of the things that really stuck with me from the book was this idea of what did he call it? A trust score.
Ooh.
It's like he paints this picture of the future where your online activity, it's not just about what you buy anymore.
Right.
It's about whether you get a loan, insurance, maybe even a job. And it's all based on this score.
It's like our credit score, but like on steroids.
Times 1,000. And Ammerman, he uses examples like Apple and Facebook. Like these companies we know, right? They're already experimenting with this stuff.
And that's when it gets kind of scary. Because who controls the score? What's it even based on?
Right. And what if you're like unfairly judged? Is there someone you can appeal to?
It's like we're handing over so much power to these algorithms, but we don't even know how they work.
It's a black box.
And they're making these decisions that could, like, change our lives.
Yeah. And it's not just about these trust scores either.
Right.
Ammerman, he also talks about health, how AI is being used to make diagnoses, come up with treatment plans, even predicting, like, someone's future health risks.
Okay. On the one hand, that's incredible, right?
Amazing.
It could revolutionize medicine.
Earlier diagnoses.
Personalized treatment.
Totally.
Well, who's accountable when things go wrong? Because, doctors, they make mistakes. People make mistakes.
That's the million-dollar question right there.
Yeah.
And Ammerman, he makes you think about it.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't give you easy answers.
Right.
He says we need to think about bias in these systems.
Okay, yeah.
How they might actually make things worse when it comes to, like, inequality in healthcare.
Because if they're trained on data that already has those biases built in,
exactly,
it's going to, like, learn the wrong things.
Like that old saying, to err is human.
But in AI's error.
Oh, they have bigger consequences,
yeah,
right?
We're talking life or death.
Exactly. And it's not even just, technical glitches or bad data. Ammerman, he's also worried about conflicts of interest. When the same companies making these AI healthcare systems, they're the ones profiting from the treatment.
Oh, wow, yeah. It's like putting the fox in charge of the hen house, right?
Exactly.
We need safeguards, checks and balances, like someone who's impartial looking at this and saying, hold on a second, is this really in the patient's best interest?
Ammerman, he brings up a really scary thought. Like, maybe the scariest in the whole book.
Okay, lay it on me. What is it?
This invisible brand, right?
Yeah.
It can be used to take away our freedom.
Oh, wow.
Our autonomy, not just as consumers, as
Right.
citizens. He says AI can be used to control information, even to manipulate us.
He said, like, this isn't just about buying the wrong shoes.
I,
This
I,
is about, like, our lives.
yes. Our choices, our thoughts even.
It's like that book 1984. It's giving me 1984 vibes.
He mentions that. Ammerman says the technology to create a society where, like, you don't have freedom of thought, where you're being watched all the time. It's here.
That's terrifying. It really is, because it's like we're just handing over the keys, to our minds, our identities, to these systems that are like, hey, we're just trying to make your life easier.
But at what cost?
Exactly. That's the question we should all be asking. So what do we do if we want to make sure that we're using AI for good, not the other way around?
Ammerman, he says we got to stay vigilant.
Okay.
We got to be critical.
Yeah.
And if something's not right, if we see this technology being misused, we have to speak up.
It's a call to action.
It is.
For all of us, We got to learn about this stuff, talk about it, and, like, demand better from the people in charge.
It's true. Because the future isn't set in stone.
Yeah.
We get to decide.
We do. We really do. Okay, so targeted ads, check. AI writing news, check. AI taking over healthcare, check. Even AI spying on us and, like, controlling our thoughts, check. We have covered a lot. But Ammerman, he leaves us with one last, I don't know, I guess you'd call it a thought experiment.
Oh, yeah. This is a good one.
What happens when our relationship with AI changes, becomes something, not more?
He asks, like, what if we become so reliant on it, so, like, intimate with these digital assistants,
Right.
that it becomes, like, a spiritual thing?
So, like, instead of religion, we have people turning to AI for meaning, for guidance, even like a sense of the divine.
It's like that idea of a God algorithm, an AI so smart, so all-knowing, it basically becomes God.
It's like those oracles in ancient times. But instead of going to some temple on a hilltop, we're consulting our smartphones.
Right.
But, like, if we start seeing AI as this ultimate source of truth, then who decides what that truth is?
That's the problem, isn't it? It's one thing if it's recommending a movie.
Right, but now it's telling us how to live our lives.
Yeah. What to believe, who to trust.
I don't know, it's both exciting and kind of terrifying, To think AI could reshape everything, how we see the universe, our place in it, what it even means to be human.
And that's where he leaves us,
Yeah.
with these huge questions.
Yeah. No easy answers.
But he wants us to think about them. He's not predicting the future. He's trying to prepare us.
To shape it. So what's the takeaway for our listeners? What can they do?
Ammerman says we have more power than we realize. This invisible brand is powerful, but we created it. So we have to be informed, we have to be engaged, and we have to question everything.
Question the systems, question the algorithms, and really question the answers, right? Don't just take them at face value.
Be skeptical. Be curious.
The invisible brand, it's a wake-up call.
It is.
It's reminding us that the biggest question isn't, what can technology do?
Right.
But what do we want it to do for us? Think about it. Thanks for diving deep with us.